Welcome back, everybody, to the MLE Network. This is the second stream, MLE Esports GG2, and we've got more action coming your way. Now shifting gears up to the Premier League for our final match on this second stream. We've got the Knights going up against the Express, and once again, we've got playoff chances and division leads on the line between these two teams. I'm joined by Jesus, and he's going to give us a breakdown of what this match means for each team.
All right, everybody. It looks like the Knights just need 2 wins in this series to clinch the division. However, the Express are 1 game out of the wild card, and if the Express can win a 4-1, this is division. They win out, that's it. The Forge division is all Express. However, with the stats looking more towards the Knights with Prosperity 2K and Jay, it's really going to be that interesting game between them. Prosperity Jay is averaging about 3.5 goals per game, with his teammate averaging 1.5. So really, this is going to be a tight one. If the Express wants to win, they really need to make the saves. Yeah, this is going to be a tight one indeed. These Premier League matches, some of the most highly contested in all of the league, with players at such a high skill cap. And this match looking to be no exception now. We're going to get into match time shortly. And if you look into the detailed stats, how does it look between the two sides, these Knights and Express players, on the stat sheets for the season? Well, Prosperity is sitting with his 50 goals on his 30 games. He's got 30 assists tagged along in there. His save percentage is up as well. It was 61 saves over his 30 games. Jay is sitting with 53 goals, 14 assists. And Goyo here for the Express is sitting with 46 goals on his 30. So not as high as the other two, but thankfully they have Pops playing with them, who's averaging, it looks like, at least 2 goals a game, with 62 goals over a period of just 35 games.
A lot of offensive power on the field here between this Knights and Express matchup. And now we're going to get into game time. 5 minutes on the clock and 5 games to play here in the final match of the season for both of these teams. We're starting off hot here with Jay off of the ceiling, hitting a banger. It's not going to quite go goalward, and now Prosperity looking for more in the corner here. Gets defended by Goyo, who kicks it out to midfield. Pops, gathers in the middle. A dribble opportunity here, opts to go low. Stopped nicely there by Jay, who was patient on defense. Now it's collected by Prosperity. Passed off to Jay, who's going back the other way. Prosperity in the middle. Kicks it high. Jay waiting on the ceiling there in an unexpected play. A demo in the backfield, but no play developing so far. It's been some mechanical prowess on show, but no scoring chances thus far for either team.
This is like the battle of 2 titans. We have these 2 teams who want to clinch their division, and I think today is really going to be tight for the 2 of them.
Goyo now kicks it into the Express corner, tries to gather some boost and make a defensive play here, challenged by Prosperity. That's off the back wall. Jay up here, waterfalls down in front of the net. Prosperity not there to make the shot. Instead, Goyo's going to get this one out. Prosperity gathers once again. What a challenge from him. Is Jay there in time? No! Goyo makes another save. This has been a few defensive stands from Goyo to keep the ball out of the Express net so far.
One thing to really look at when Goyo and Pops have the ball is how they're going to play as a team. They have more assists than the Knights do collectively, so I'm really looking forward to seeing more pass plays come out of the Express.
And that's a pass play that's going to definitely connect between Prosperity and Jay there. Jay bearing the first goal of this series at 3:30.
Just keep adding notches on the belt of Jay. We talked about it earlier with his 53 goals on our stat sheet, and wow, is he just going to add them up.
Now a 1-goal lead opens up the scoring, and Pops looking off the kickoff to try and send it back the other way and level this game. Goyo off the back wall. Nice chip to themselves, but Jay makes it there just in time to keep that one out. Pops now retreating with no boost. Goyo's going to try to pick up the slack, but that's kicked out towards the Knights. Attacking zone. Now it's back the other way. We got a runner. Jay's got to get a handle on this. And they do. That's challenged by Pops into the middle, but Prosperity makes the play. Jay off the wall here, sending it downfield. Goyo now. Off the side wall. Again, low boost. Seemingly a bit of an issue here for the Express. That's been a few times that they've been caught out with low resources.
And we're going to expect that at this level of play, where they're going to be boost starving left and right, because once you give these guys boost, there is no knowing what they're going to do. Prosperity
looking for a play in the middle there, but as we mentioned, not enough boost to do it here. There's a shortage of that on the field with players using so much to play at the pace that we see in this Premier League. Now the ball heading into the Express zone. Pops kicking it up in the air. Jay looking for a nice redirect there, but on the wrong net. Prosperity has to bail him out. That was a close play. Now Goyo sends it into the middle. Pops is there. Doesn't get the shot on target. Jay keeps it away for the time being. We've got more than half the game gone. Only 1 goal scored, and these teams seem to be warming up a little bit here. It's pretty square between the two.
Again, with these two teams being so tied up, and as I say that, Pops was just a beautiful flick there.
That's a great play from Pops, coming out of the middle of the field here, recognizing the mistouch on the player on the wall, just buries that dribble left side. So we see an even match, and now 2 minutes left to play. Prosperity kicks it straight goalward, but Pops gets the answer back the other way on the cheat. Jay in the corner, looking for a flip. That's bouncing high in front of the Knights net. No challenge there from the Express. Surprising to see as Prosperity given space to get it out. Jay off of the wall, opting not to go for that second chance there. Prosperity far too deep to help out on offense. Now Jay. Slow, nice play there to kick it center. He's got a passing opportunity, but that's stopped. Pops with a nice defensive play there. And it's been a bit of a defensive battle in the second half of this game between these two teams, neither really letting out much space for each other.
And I completely agree. Pops has been saving goals left and right this whole season with 92. I expect to just keep seeing him do that, considering we know that the Knights are just going to barrage them with shots left and right all night.
Now we enter what is the final minute of play in this first game. Teams are level, and this could be looking at overtime here. Knights trying to make a case for themselves in the attacking zone. Goyo gets it clear, but Prosperity is going to answer right back, and the Knights, at exactly the minute mark, are going to take the lead.
Now looking at this gameplay so far, it looks like Goyo and Pops are just trying to shake out some of their, some of the on-stream, shakes that they got to get out. However, it does look like Prosperity and Jay are really starting to meld well together. It's going to be interesting to see what this ends in this game and to see what goes on in the next game.
Now it's crunch time for the Express here as they enter the Knights zone with 50 seconds left to play and a goal needed. Goyo has an awkward chip in the middle of the field. That's going to leave a shot open for Jay, but doesn't quite get the corner of the hitbox on that one. Pops chipping it into the middle. Jay, super quick to that ball, is going to stop any breakout from the Express. And now they've got just 30 seconds left here to get a goal from themselves. Pops can't get it clear of Prosperity, who almost puts it on goal there. Bumps Goyo in the middle, but Jay not there to capitalize. Still a Knights lead. This might waterfall down in front of the Knights net. Big save there, but Goyo with the rebound is going to bury it, and we've got a tie game with 20 seconds left.
Pops and Goyo, man, it is very interesting to see how they're working together, and this is a very close game. Everyone's got 1 goal on the board and at least 1 shot, so really.
Nice even contribution here from all players on the field and an even scoreline. 17 seconds left now as the Knights are in a bit of danger here. Challenged by Goyo. That's floating in front of the net. Prosperity's got to get up and get a touch on this. Not good enough. Diving was Pops at the ball. That's sitting just outside the post and outside of shooting position. My goodness, last chance here for Goyo, who kicks it far to the outside, and that is going to be overtime in game number 1. Close chances there, but nothing quite happening for that Express team.
Agreed, and it is. I mean, I didn't expect the overtime, but man, these guys are slugging it out like professional boxers.
Trading blows either way, and it's only a matter of time before one of those blows turns into a goal. Jay here with the dribble. That's a nice flick into the middle. Prosperity's up for the shot. Maybe a double tap. Not enough boost, but Jay is going to steal that one for his team and give the Knights the first game of the series.
Now, you want to talk about some shots. That was a beautiful double touch. Oh, that wasn't even a double touch. That was just a cleanup shot. For some reason, I had it in my head that Jay was the one to put it in, but really it was a pass to a shot.
Fantastic play from the Knights there to close that game out. And now we see them take their first game of the series. This is crucial for them. And how impactful is that first game going to be as we look towards what the standings played out moving into this series?
Well, the Express can only give up no more if they want to win the division. They lost their head-to-head against the Express, and the Express already hold 1 game above them. So the Knights hold one game above them. So if the Express want to win their division, they can't lose another match.
These are tense moments now for the Express, who have put themselves in a very difficult situation. And obviously, it was a great effort from them. It wasn't for a lack of trying. And the Knights winning by a very narrow margin there. What do you think it was that was the difference maker that put the Knights over the top in this first game?
You know, honestly, I think it was just the saves. The saves are really what's going to save the Knights. The Express tried to put some good shots on net. However, Prosperity and Jay just seem to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to putting shots in.
Absolutely, and that may be the tale of the tape between these two players eventually. If both of them are pretty solid defensively, they're not going to be missing the easy chances. It's going to be really what it comes down to is who can put a higher degree of offensive pressure on. And you saw it. There's a great example of it in the overtime goal that the Knights scored. It wasn't the first or the second effort from those players, but the third one, just keeping that pressure on, that finally drove the ball goalward. And I think repeat efforts from that are going to be the difference maker for either team winning games in this series.
Agreed. And like we talked about with the Express and the Knights, it is just going to be a slugfest the rest of the night. But it looks like that shooting percentage is kind of showing that the Knights are here for that division. They are not giving up. They're not going to lose lightly. If they do lose, the Express really have to bring their A game.
Well, obviously, the Express still a little bit more to warm up here and get into this series now, down a game and out of chances to make mistakes here. As we get into game number 2, the Express have got to start their campaign in winning 4 games in this series to give themselves a chance at postseason glory. But Knights putting them in early trouble here as Jay hits it off the wall. Pops is going to clear there. Now Prosperity off the sidewall, looking sideways to Jay. Great passing play. Prosperity, excellent pass to Jay there, and Jay is going to convert.
Jay likes putting shots on net. I mean, in his 15 games, he's put 113 shots on net. That is just an absurd amount of shots, and his conversion to make those goals is even higher. So I'm looking more from Jay the rest of the games to really see if he's going to just pad his stats.
Not going to take long. Jay already adding another goal to the tally. Nice awareness there off the kickoff to recognize the space that he had. And on the cheap, wastes no time burying the flick to make it 2-0 for the Knights. Already the Express are in a little bit of trouble here. And when they're down 1 game in the series, they can't afford to give up big leads like this for the Knights so early in the game.
No, they cannot. And it feels like the opposite of Cast or Curse just now talking about Jay. It looks like he is either listening to us and wanting to make sure that we are correct or something is going on.
Now Jay in the defensive end for a change, trying to make a touch here. Does. Keeps it out of the zone for the time being. Pops gets challenged squarely by Jay. Goyo missing the chance in the midfield. Now this opens up some space for the Knights. Pops there making a smart touch to keep it out of the middle. Now they're on the wall. Kicking it to the side. Goyo collecting instead. More boost in the tank for them. Goyo looking for the air dribble, maybe a dunk. Not happening there as Jay kicks it towards the side. And now Prosperity picks it up back towards the other end of the field.
Prosperity is doing a really solid job on defense, but letting those 2 in, I think that we're going to have to see a change of pace to make sure that both him and Pops are on the same level on saves.
Close chance there from Pops. Nice shot there, but just careening wide on that left side, and now Prosperity's back the other way. Knights looking for more passing plays here as Jay heads into the corner. Stopped by Goyo on the sidewall. Goyo in turn looks middle, but Pop's not there to receive the pass. Jay kicking it towards the sidewall here. Might be a high bounce. Jay reading it well into the middle. Prosperity now with an open net. Big miss from the Express defender, and that's a 3rd goal for the Knights.
I feel like mechanically the Knights have just found their spot for the night. They've been hitting things, and I feel like for the Express, they've got to change something up. You got 3 minutes to score at least 4 goals to win this game, 3 to tie it up and really give us a good show, but the mechanics really makes and breaks these games.
Mechanically, the dominant team so far, definitely the Knights, and the Express, crucial misses in times when they could not miss. And now they're in a series situation where they cannot miss because they're down 3 goals in a game. Pops with a great save there. Starting the campaign for the Express back the other way. Jay trying to interrupt. Prosperity gets challenged and beaten. Now it's in the Knights' end. Goyo off the back wall. Is there a double tap? No. No potential there as it's too wide. Jay looks to the middle here, tries to kick it into the center, but that's stopped. Now Prosperity on the wall. Floating above the net. Opts for the bump there instead, but nothing happening. Looks like we're on a spin cycle back towards that right-hand side of the goal. Knights can't quite get anything started, but the Express can't get the ball out of their zone.
With more than half our time left, the Express really need to step it up, or else the Knights are just going to win this whole Forge division right here and now.
Pops making a case for themselves, almost burying what was a very sharp angle double tap. Now Goyo's going to try to follow it up, kicking a pass into the middle. Prosperity first to that by quite a margin. Jay now sends it into the center. Prosperity bangs a shot. Nice save there from Goyo. Good touch from Pops to keep it onto the side. Knights trying to keep the pressure up. Prosperity on the sidewall. One flick. Maybe looking for a dunk there. What a recovery on the wall. Jay probably not even expecting that play as Prosperity sent it right across the goal mouth.
Jay is... Man, he is showing why he is an 18.5 salary.
Absolutely. He's been the scariest player on the field so far, I would say. And when you look at the Knights' ability to capitalize on chances, you give Jay any daylight at all, and he seems he's going to score a goal for your team. Express need to find an answer for that. That's a ball kicked down into a shooting lane, but Goyo wary of capitalizing on that. Now Jay back the other way. Looks to the middle. Nice flick there. Going to be a little bit wide. Grabs the boost. Doesn't hand off to Prosperity. Prosperity now coming in. Bit of a tight rotation there between the Knights, but they get out unscathed. Final 48 seconds to play here. It's heading again towards the Knights net. Express need to make a goal happen here. This is 3 goals they need to make up, and they are quickly running out of time to do it.
That is true. Time is dwindling down, and it looks like the Knights at this point are just trying to play keep away and keep out. As I say that, there's Pops with a nice goal.
Well, they kept away, but they couldn't keep out. Pops backwards there. I don't think either Knight expected such a powerful shot, and he sends it into the upper 90. And now there's a little bit of a chance here. It's not a great chance, but the Express have a chance here at leveling this game. They need a kickoff goal quickly here, and things are looking rough for them as it's already sent into their end. Goyo trying to send a touch up to Pops to get the read off that side wall. Now looks for a kick off that backside, but it's sent all the way down the field. Crucial touch there for the Knights, who are going to get the clear that they want. Jay off the ceiling, so quick to get the ball into the middle of the field. And as time winds down in this game number 2, the Express are going to see their chances evaporate. Knights winning the second game of the series. And unless I'm mistaken, that has sealed things as far as playoff implications and division implications go for these two teams.
That is it. You are correct. The Knights are the Forge Division champions, and it only took 2 games to do it. The Express, they're now just playing for their respect, honestly, because the Knights are on their victory lap for the next 3 games, and I'm really interested to see what happens.
Interested to see as well, Jay and Prosperity coordinating so well between one another on those plays, always seemingly able to back one another up when the chips were down. And there were a couple of tense moments here and there, but I really feel like the Knights were never challenged in that second game or never tested by the Express on the other end.
No, they truly weren't. It feels like the Express just couldn't click, which is very odd when you think about how many shots, the shot percentage and the save percentage that the Express have. They really should be saving more goals. However, they're really just letting them slip past.
Now, as we talk about the game, let's also talk about playoffs, because I think actually there might still be some implications left here. And it's a conversation about the wild card. So, Knights obviously sealing the division. They don't need to worry about any wild card related things, but the Express on the other end, when we went into the series, they were 1 game out of the wild card. They are now 3 games out of the wild card, having dropped those 2 games. So if they want to win or even contest a spot at the wild card at this point, they need to win the rest of the games. At first, it was just a question of, giving the Knights a challenge, trying to get that 4-1 or maybe even a 5-0. But now to have any slice of hope at all, they might need to put on a show here and win these remaining 3 games.
They have to. If they want to see themselves play any more this season, other than these last 3 games, they have to win out. Which, at this rate, it looks like the Knights are honestly just playing stronger together. But then again, Pops and Goyo could impress us all.
Looking to here is Goyo in the middle of the field, sending a weak flick there that's going to be contested by the Knights player. Prosperity is back the other way. Ground pinch there is going to send it into the middle, but easily kicked aside by Pops. Pops sends it into the middle. Ball high here, floating, but never dangerous. Prosperity back the other way is going to add the first goal in for the Knights, and it's a continuation of more here.
That is true. Jay and Prosperity are just a force to be reckoned with this evening. They do not want to see these guys get the wild card spot. They do not want to play them anymore this season, and they're showing it.
Let's see if the Knights, or the Express rather, can level things here after dropping another lead in the beginning of this game. Prosperity almost faking past one, but instead now it's going to be sent back the other way. Goyo, a nice centering play up to Pops, who's looking skyward. That's challenged by the Knights player, Jay. Keeps them out of scoring position. What a flick. Prosperity turning from 0 to 100 there to bury it on the right side.
Prosperity is showing why he is the Forge Division champion right now. He's not letting up. They don't want to lose this game. They just want to get this 5-0, pad their stats, make them look good going in to the championship series.
Knights very much asserting dominance on the division in this one. Jay kicking another one towards the center of the field. Prosperity is going to pick up the rebound, and it's just insult to injury at this point.
They're just throwing salt in the wound. I feel like Pops and Goyo have either lost hope and confidence in their play, or something else has come up, because they are not showing us what they could do like they did the first 2 games.
Been very tough going for the Express here. It's going to take a mental reset for them to claw their way back into this series. Already down by a couple games. And what do you think it is really that needs to be the most major change from the Express that could really see them a couple of wins?
Demos.
Oh my. Sorry to interrupt you. Good grief, Jay. What an amazing flick there in the middle of the field. Go on, we'll get back to the commentary there, but that was a great goal from Jay.
That was a fantastic goal from Jay, and it comes back to exactly what I was just saying. Demos need to be the key factor. If Goyo and Pops want any chance to 3 and out this game, they need to just demo Jay as many times as they can, because honestly, Jay has put up all of these shots and saves, and Prosperity just feels like, to me, that he is just going to be here to either assist Jay or just play his game.
Prosperity, obviously no slouch, and it's such a dangerous prospect to come up against a team like this. When you want to target one player and try to take Jay out of the play, if you give Prosperity too much space, he's going to come back and burn you the other way. So it's almost feeling like the Express are out of options at this point. We'll see what they can do here, trying to get the ball into the Knights zone. Pops kicking it off of that back wall, but stopped by Jay once again. He brings it back in, can't get the dunk there. Now Goyo, low on boost, trying to fake out this Knights player. That's a nice pass across, and this could be the start of something big for the Express.
This is exactly what they need. 1 goal in just to start. They just need the taste. Once they get the taste, I'm sure they'll crave it and want more.
Hopefully the Express can add more to the tally here, as we've played half of this game number 3, and they are now on the board. Pretty convincing fashion there. A nice passing play between those 2 players, but Jay's here, back the other way. Double tap thwarted by the defensive player. Pops on the wall there, and now Pops got another passing opportunity here. Instead opts for the flick. Pops playing mind games with Prosperity there on defense.
That was a beautiful flick coming from Pops. I mean, you've got 1 behind you, 1 in front of you. What are you going to do? Flick it.
Such a clean play from Pops there, and this could be really the start of some confidence between those 2 goals. One, a great coordinated effort, and the other, a nice solo mechanical play. That's exactly what the Express need here. Let's see if they can add more as Goyo takes control in the middle of the field. Gets bumped. Now Pops is going to pick up the slack. Looking for a dunk here off the back wall. That's close to a double tap for Pops. Could have been another highlight reel goal as Jay, wave dashing into the middle here, tries to get a dribble play going. Prosperity puts it goalward. Nice save there from Pops. Keep it out. This really looks like the start of some momentum here. Possibly, oof, Jay looking for a flip reset there. Knights always scary, but now the Express, I think they're making a case for themselves here.
I agree that the Express really, they have to get these next 2 goals and they got to make them fast. But however, they are showing that they do want to get that wild card spot and they do want to continue their season out.
Knights doing now whatever they can to stop that from happening. A double demolition from Prosperity. So rude to that Express team that's just trying to claw their way back into this game. Another demo. The Express can barely stay alive here, let alone touch the ball. My goodness, that came from both players on the Knights roster, and I'm not sure if that was an intentional thing, but they left just an incredible body count in about 20 seconds of play on the field.
I think that Goyo and Pops need to take a note out of the Knights book. Like I said earlier with the demos, if they can demo like that, double demos, I think that the Express might have a chance for the last 45 seconds.
Express needing a goal here, but instead having it shot towards theirs. Pops keeps it out. This is off the wall. Jay trying to see Prosperity on the side, but Pops cuts that off in midfield. Pops missing the first touch. That's going to be costly for them. 30 seconds now to score 2 goals for the Express. Jay challenging the ball and keeping it in the Express zone. Meanwhile, bumping the Express player. Pops dribbling it out to midfield here. Now at 20 seconds. Goal's got to come very quickly here. Goyo makes an effort there. That's not on net. And with that and that big hit downfield from Jay, that is just about going to do it here for this second game between the Knights, or this third game rather, between the Knights and the Express. Time dwindling down here. Express might add one, but it's just going to be for dignity. At 0 seconds, the Knights are still going to take this game and take their third of the series.
Yes, and unfortunately for the Express, that's it. That's the end of their season. They've got 2 more games left to really show us what they can do. Just so they can, honestly. But the Knights have just dominated the field today. Left and right, Jay Prosperity, they are a nice duo to see on the field.
They are. You can really see the confidence that they're exuding come through in the types of plays that they're attempting, but also in how much comfort they have doing that, knowing that they're backed up by their teammate. It's always a scary prospect to go up for a mechanical play and wonder, if I miss this, is my teammate going to be there to bail me out? And it seems like, for the most part, barring a few goals here and there for the Express, the Knights always there to back each other up when they need to be.
That is true. The Knights are just playing to each other at this point. There was a lot of solid pass plays. Goyo and Pops, though, are not one to be slept on. I understand that with everything that just happened, I'm sure these next 2 games are going to be tough on them. However, I really hope they come out swinging just to show us a good last of our evening.
Absolutely. Always looking to be given a show here on MLE, and I'm sure the Express, Pops and Goyo, are going to be want to be doing the same. They're not going to want to go out of this one quietly into the night. So we'll see if the Express here in game number 4 can start to put on a little bit of a show. And the Knights, however, it's smooth sailing for them from here on out. Just padding the stats, as you said, as they've done everything they needed to do to lock up the division. And now let's enter into the next game of this series and see if the Express can make a little bit of headway towards some momentum in the series.
And momentum is what the Express are going to need in these next 2 games.
Jay in defense, Prosperity in the corner there. Jay defending rather the Express net, not his own, as Pops kicking it out. Jay challenging from the ceiling there. Oh, nice kick up from Pops there, who's got a ton of space. Might leave it for Goyo to shoot. A demo's not going to be enough from the Knights, and Express take an uncharacteristic lead in this series.
I do believe that was the first lead they've had in the series, which is very nice to see in the last 2 games here.
Let's see if they can add a little bit more to that. Express now looking to make a couple of wins happen in these last 2 games of the series. The ball is sent towards the Knights' end once again. Nice chip again from Goyo, who's going to put it off the back wall. Is the shooter there? Pops, no. Missing the aerial read, and now it's back the other way for the Knights. Prosperity playing mind games once again, but Goyo is going to be there for the save. Goyo off the ceiling and into the middle. No player there to receive that, and now Jay's got a field day on net as Prosperity removes the goaltender from existence.
For a moment there, I was just lost for words. I didn't know what to say when I looked at this. the demo into the flick. It was just a beautiful, beautiful explosion there, and really let Jay just finish that score.
Knights, obviously physical play being a huge factor here. You talked about earlier how that needed to be something that the Express needed to engage. Oof, close chance there from Goyo on the dunk attempt, but the physical play never seemed to arrive for the Express, and I agree with you that I think that ended up making a big difference for them, as we're going to see the Knights add another one here. Jay capitalizing on a freeze in front of net.
This is one of those times where if I am playing against the Knights, I throw my controller down and forfeit, because it is just not a good time to beat the Express. Again, however, the Express could pop off and really show us what they're all about.
Well, we'll see if Pops can live up to that namesake and Goyo help them along the way. Express need to show some mental fortitude here and continue their effort against the Knights here, as it's in the Knights zone. Jay, a slow dribble out to midfield, challenged by Pops. Now Goyo sending the ball, beaten by the Knights player, and it's still back in the Express zone. Jay kicking it up into the air, maybe looking for a pass off to Prosperity, but no commitment there. Now Pops back the other way. Good dribble opportunity here. Goes for the bump instead. That was a nice play, but again, as we mentioned before, these Knights players so adept in bailing each other out and saving these chances from happening.
That is true. The Knights have been, if one's not in the net, the other is, and it's a constant rotation that Goyo and Pops just didn't really show us this evening, and it really shows that the Knights are going to be a team to be reckoned with coming up in the next tournament.
A playoff contender for sure are the Knights, Forge Division champions now, and looking to add more accolades on the season, I'm sure, as the postseason gets underway. But for now, Express at midfield, trying to do some damage to this seemingly unscathed Knights team. Jay trying to look for a double tap there, but couldn't get the control. Goyo, nice pass there. It's hammered at net by Pops. Nice touch by Prosperity to keep it off there. That might have been going crossbar down, but what a great save from Prosperity. Still didn't have enough boost in the tank to make that second save.
No, he didn't. And Pops at this point, he's scored. They're 1-for-1 right now. Pops, however, has kind of shown that I feel like mechanically he's sound, but really when it comes up against Jay and Prosperity, it's almost a moot point.
Well, as we've seen many times, and especially at this level of play, mechanical prowess is an advantage, but it's not always the deciding one. Pops and Goyo can still do some serious work here on offense if they can just get coordinated. As instead, it's Knights putting more offense on. Pops trying to hover mode there and make that save, but Jay's going to bury that one.
Now, watching this play, I didn't understand what was going on. Goyo is sitting all the way downfield. Did he think maybe that Pops was going to pass it out to him, or that they weren't going to get double teamed? There was a big miscommunication there.
Looked as though Goyo had dived at the earlier play and sent themselves so far out of position that all they could really do was wait downfield. And obviously that's not a place you want to be when your teammate is in a serious amount of trouble in their end. 3-2 now for the Knights as this ball is sent high. Goyo looking for a shoot. He's going to try to waterfall it instead. Goyo, maybe an insane read off the backboard. Still pressure here from the Express. That was a great effort from Goyo, making almost a highlight reel play off the backboard there. We've seen flashes of brilliance like that from the Express. It would be great to see more from them before this series is out.
That it would be, and honestly, the Express just now boost starved the Knights for a solid 25 seconds while the ball was on their end. Looking at the Knights, they had no boost, but yet they still managed to save shots and are now on the attack.
And finishing off the attack was Prosperity, reading his own touch off of the wall. And when you talk about running out of boost and the Knights being on defense, that's a testament to how good their boost economy is and how good their rotations are, that even when they're low on resources, seemingly the Express can't get the better of them. They're always in the right spot at the right time. Jay now off of the sidewall gets challenged by Goyo, who sends it off to Pops. Pops maybe putting a shot on net there, just wide. Looking for the reverse pass after scoring that reverse goal earlier on. Would have added another backwards play, but it's not going to happen as Prosperity sends it to the side here. Getting the double touch. Pops is up in the air looking for one of their own. That's kicked out by Jay very deep. Nice catch there from Goyo, but he gets bumped. Looks for the pass, and Prosperity dunks him in midfield. A shooting chance gone askew there for the Express. Now Jay looking for a shot back the other way. Pops is going to send a banger off the back wall. Prosperity's got to read this. Nice touch there from them. Still defensively solid from the Knights. The Express chances here and there, but nothing close enough to really threaten.
No, and the Knights are just bombarding the net with shots. Whenever they get a chance, they are sending them back in. And with only 10 seconds left, it looks like the Express are defeated and deflating.
Time winding down here. 2-goal margins not makeable at this point. And as the ball may or may not hit the ground, Jay opting to cheekily keep it up here. The Express mercifully just hoping that it drops and we can get into this final game of the series. Still the ball kept up, but let's look forward a little bit here as these players toy around a bit. We've got one game left to play in the series, and it would be so nice to see the Express show a more consistent version of what we've seen moments of there here and there from them in this series so far.
If they can compile all that they've done the first 4 games, all the positive things they've done in the first 4 games, I mean, they do absolutely contend for this 5th game. I think that if they can show their 100% dedication into this and show us that they do want a win, I think that it will be a very nice 5th game. But then again, the Knights are relentless, and I think that the Knights are going to make sure now they get the 5-0.
Certainly looking that way. It would be great to see the Express get a little shred of dignity and end the season on a high note by winning this last game. But I think that's left more to the Knights than anybody. I think the goal opportunities that have come for the Express have been the most part just because of small mistakes from the Knights. But looking forward, I'd love to see the Express put on a degree of pressure to the point where it's them beating the Knights and not the Knights just momentarily beating themselves.
Agreed. The Knights had some moments there where it did look like there was some lapse of judgment, but unfortunately for Goyo and Pops, they really just could not score on those opportunities. So it's going to be an interesting 5th game, and I really think that Goyo and Pops are going to hopefully give it their all, so that way we can really go off with a bang for the last game of the evening.
Well, let us close out this MLE 2 stream here with a final game in Premier League between the Express and Knights. We'll see if the Express can make something magic happen here and get a game for themselves in this series that has been dominated by the Knights. It's in the zone here, and Pop's going to kick it out. Goyo also diving at the ball. This could be a little dangerous. Nice flick from Pops to get it centered, but a good defensive retreat there from the Knights is going to keep that away. Prosperity, decent flick there, but that's going to be sent back by Pops. Goyo's going to be first to that mid boost. They might have a chance here to dunk. Instead, they get Carr over ball. Now some space open for Pops. They're looking up high. Air dribble opportunity, maybe a dunk. Not happening there as smartly kicked aside by Jay.
Yes. Goyo. And with Jay having this ball on his head, it is scary, I'm sure, for Pops and Goyo to see that. But Jay just really looked like he didn't quite know what to do as soon as he walked into a brick wall. And Caster's curse.
Well, Jay definitely knowing what to do in that situation. That's a big open shooting opportunity as Pops retreated back into net. And Jay sends an absolute screamer into the top half of the net. And it's 1-0 again for the Knights. Now, in this final game, we've got a minute down and 1 goal scored. It's not maybe the pace of goals we've seen from some of the games. Let's see if the Express can add one for themselves here. Pops looking to chip it over. That's a nice pass into the middle from Goyo. But Prosperity rotates back in time. Goyo kicking it into the middle as they've made a car switch here for the last game of the series. Playing Octane for the most part, but Goyo switching onto the Dominus. Maybe that's all the change they need to get some confidence kicking here.
Honestly, I never believed it until I started playing with the Finnick from the Octane, and cars matter. You know, you think you can play with one car, you try to change it up. Maybe he has a Dominus main, and he's going to show us what he can do with that long body.
Well, Goyo's going to have a chance here as the ball is sent towards them. Sending it up the sidewall here, trying to get the dunk, but dunked instead by Jay, who sends it towards the corner. Pops fakes the play out wide and instead goes middle. So they send Jay down the field. Goyo, scary miss there, but Pops immediately recovers. Now a chance into the middle. Looking for that flip there. Could have been a good chance. Goyo off the sidewall. Jay managing control here through the middle of the field. Now a dribble opportunity. Get past one, past two, off the post. Now Prosperity with the answer. That's another goal for the Knights on a great individual effort from Jay.
You know, Jay, even though he missed that shot, it still looked like a beautiful pass play. It could have faked me. It could have been intentional. Again, at this high level of play, who knows what he was actually trying to do.
Definitely looking goalward with that final flick there, and just about had it, but narrowly missing and got a fortunate bounce out to Prosperity, who adds another goal for the Knights here. Knights now looking for more as Jay runs out of boost and opts for the physical play. Instead, Prosperity grabbing the boost in the corner, but missing ball. Pops back the other way, dives at the ball, gets squarely challenged by Jay, and Prosperity kicks it out into the middle. Jay, bit of an awkward aerial flip there, missing the touch they need. Goyo's back the other way. Pops in the back end. Sends a ball high off that side wall, looks for another touch, fakes low instead. Oof, almost there, and oh my goodness, that one's just going to bounce straight in. Not an intentional fake, I don't think, but a fake nonetheless.
Yeah, that was just an interesting play by Pops. He was bouncing around in order to make that goal, and I didn't understand the last 3 seconds of that. He couldn't get control of his car, yet somehow he managed to get the bump and let that ball go in.
Nice camaraderie there between players. Pops obviously acknowledging the errant nature of that play a little bit, and Knights responding in kind. Obviously, sportsmanship always in high order here in MLE. It's great to see that communication from the players, even in a series that's been dominated by one team. It's so great to see this league prioritize just positive communication and relationships between teams and players, and that's what builds such a great league here at MLE.
That is true. Ever since I've joined the MLE, that is all that this organization is about, is that positivity, no negativity. There is no nonsense that goes on in this league. I've never met a group of players where I could lose 5 games to them in a row and be like, wow, you guys played really great. I can't wait to play again, and not have negative feelings. But this is the MLE. It is a non-toxic league. A lot of these guys are just super positive vibes.
Absolutely, and it's about improvement as well. The Express trying to do a little in-series improvement here as they level the game there off screen, and now it's back the other way. Unfortunately, that's a double commit from the Express there, and their tie game is not going to last very long.
No, the Express are going to have to pull something out of their hat if they want to really get this back in with 1 minute and 16 seconds left. We've seen them score with 30 seconds left. Let's hope that they can do it with at least double the time.
Minute 16 on the clock, and a goal to score might come early here from Goyo, who gets a great bounce off of that kickoff, wastes no time at all, and we're level once again.
Kickoff goals have won games before, and here we see at least this one ties it up. That was a good heads-up play from Goyo.
Now let's see if Express can take that and generate even more momentum, maybe get a lead for themselves and squeak out a win here as we approach the final minute of play in game number 5 between the Knights and Express. Express getting dunked there. That's dangerous back the other way. Jay's got an open shooting lane, but misses wide. Uncharacteristic from Jay, who's been lights out on offense so far. That's a rare miss from them, but the Express are going to be thanking their lucky stars because now they've got a chance to win this game once again.
That is true. There are so many chances they could get, and with 42 seconds left, either it's going to go to overtime. I'm predicting an overtime game because I don't think that the Express can compose themselves in the next 30 seconds, and I don't think that the Knights are going to honestly be able to put one in with Goyo and Pops being on that high alert.
Well, let's see here as we get down to the final 20 seconds. Will we see that predicted overtime? Ball bouncing towards the Knights' end. That's a good center. Not a center. That's a shot from Pops. Just catching the Knights out of position, and suddenly the Express lead.
They got it together, and they proved me wrong. With 14 seconds left, they might be able to squeak out a win in this incredible series.
14 seconds left for the Knights to try and level this one and secure a sweep for themselves, or it's going to be the Express finally getting a game win for themselves. Now tense moments. Jay kicking it into the middle. Prosperity is there, but doesn't have the boost to make the shot. Now Jay, one more effort here. Can he keep the ball up and flick it? That's towards the goal. Looks for the demo. Goyo keeps it out. Prosperity still got the ball in the air, is looking towards the boost. Can they keep it up? That's bounced off the curve. Still in the middle. Jay trying to center it. Prosperity tries to keep the ball up, but the Express, by the narrowest of margins, grab themselves a game at the end of the series. Nice little dignity move from them. And that's going to wrap up the seasons for both the Knights and the Express. The Knights taking their division in emphatic fashion in this last series.
Yes, and for the Knights finishing out their season with at least a win, something going into the next season that is positive, and that's nice to see.